Hi, today I'm going to be using Wally to show you how to brush out mats on a long-haired cat. So Wally is relatively cooperative, so I'm hopefully going to be able to do this by myself without any help. I have two different combs. I've got a wide tooth one. These are good for really big mats, and then sometimes when you have smaller ones, it's nice to go in with kind of a fine tooth one. Sometimes they go right through the big one otherwise. So he's got some here. He's so fluffy, I'm not sure if you can see them, but he's got some matting down here. Nothing too serious, but if left, it'll get worse. So I'm gonna take the wide tooth comb and get in there and really just brush through. And with a nice wide tooth one like this, you can really feel it start to loosen up. You don't wanna yank, obviously, because your cat really won't appreciate that. Sometimes if it feels very stuck, I'll kind of hold it at the base of the mat so that I don't pull his skin quite as much. And obviously with this, there's a lot of times going to be a little bit of pulling, but you really just don't want to go and yank through. You can kind of see I'm going slow and steady and just working it out, and I am getting lots of shedding hair and also a little bit of that matting out. And a lot of it also is just really being patient. And I lost it now because he's got so much hair. And then you can kind of go in at, a lot of times if they're not all the way to the skin, you can feel here where the mat kind of stops. And you can go in at the base of that and pull out. And you can see that one getting worked out. I'll kind of try and show you. He's just so hairy. But you can see here this one getting pulled out. And then it is a little bit too small and thin for the wide tooth. So then I'll switch. I'll go in with the thin one. See, I got that right out. And he doesn't like being held still, but you can see as long as you're gentle, a lot of cats are going to be relatively cooperative. It's not hurting him, he just really doesn't want to sit still for me. So this one, I'm gonna go through and loosen it up with the wide tooth. And sometimes when they're big enough, you can get the whole thing out with the wide tooth. But then sometimes it can be difficult, so I'll go in with this narrow one afterwards and kind of work out the remaining mat. And then you do want to try and, if your cat isn't super cooperative, you want to make it as least traumatic as possible. Usually with Wally, at some point he decides he's sick of me. Sometimes he'll give me 5 minutes, sometimes he'll give me 10. And then at that point, I usually just stop, give him a day, and then go back to it, because it's really not worth it to fight with them if you think you're going to get bit, if you think you're going to get scratched. You know, if they'll give you 10 minutes, that's great. If they'll give you longer, that's great. Just don't push your luck and end up getting yourself or your cat hurt. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on how we go about brushing out mats. You never want to take a scissor to your pet's skin. A lot of times it's hard to tell where the mat ends and the skin begins, and that's a really good way to accidentally cut your pet. If you're really struggling to brush out mats, whether your cat isn't cooperative, you're just not sure what you're doing, there are groomers who will do it for you. Just really don't take a scissors to their skin. If you're not comfortable doing it, I'm sure you can find someone who will help you. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. Otherwise, you can give us a like or subscribe.